Now, we've got a larger object. Is that a conventional aircraft?
Yeah.
It sure is. There you go, something to see it against.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah. Definitely gives us something to compare it to. Our photographer is seeming to close in. There we go.
Yeah, he's also making a good job in keeping the reference points.
Yes.
He's
Whoa.
obviously aware of that.
Look at that.
Yeah, very good.
Terrific. Terrific. Now, that isn't a helicopter. That is not a plane. We don't have anything that quite moves like that.
Not to my knowledge.
And they do seem to be in, I don't know, it's more intuitive, but some relationship. The other one came in very close to the initial one and doing it again there.
I mean, we don't know what the military has in terms of classified stuff, but then again, why would they test it over Las Vegas when only 80 miles from there they have
a little privacy.
Mountains and mountains where airplanes are not allowed to fly over it. They've even confiscated these public lands where people, Freedom Ridge and so on, where people used to go and take.
A lot of folks are not happy about that.
So,
and it brings up a very important question. Again, when you read the documents on this DVD, you will find yourself asking, to some degree or another, who owns the truth in this country? Who owns the truth about this? It is certainly not we the people. To a degree, if these things are real machines from other planets, whatever, the population of the world is being treated like children. And the governments at certain levels are privy to information that either they don't feel we can handle, the economy could handle, theology, social structure, you name it.
Well, I think what happened in the beginning is understandable. The UFO phenomenon fell under the arena during the Cold War and during the worst period of the Cold War.
Just at the beginning.
So we can now be critical about it, but in that time is understandable because each side wanted to get advantage over the other side.
I couldn't agree more, and if the mythology proves to be true, which I think it may well, that Harry Truman initiated a study group and put together the best minds he could, I would have done the same thing in his place. I think this is the last one here, and this one for both of us is quite poignant, and it is a Soviet music video.
Tbilisi in Georgia, which at that time was still part of the Soviet Union.
Well, this is 89, the year that the Soviet Union is actually crumbling. And what I found...
It's opening up more than crumbling. 91 crumbles. So now Georgia is an independent country.
It is indeed.
To some extent, at least. But it is poignant, yes.
It is a good example of a location situation where all of a sudden attention is drawn to something in the sky. I was quite touched by the fact that this young woman is wearing what I am sure at the time was perceived as sort of a fashionable outfit that seems a little threadbare to the Western eyes.
Right, but I think she was a popular, well-known singer.
It's actually it's a nicer, it's a memorable tune. And what's going on here is that the camera goes back to the crowd. We see that their attention is on the sky where they had been there to, watch this filming of this video.
It takes a little, because obviously the cameraman is hired to film her, right? Yeah. But at one point, there's so much excitement in the crowd.
He just goes right to the crowd and then right to the sky, and we'll be following in a minute.
I guess she doesn't even realize what's going on yet.
Not at this point, but eventually she's just holding her mark very well. And, of course, that changes once we get to the end.
This, of course, people that got this DVD now, they can see the full footage because this has been shown in many documentaries, but only like 5 seconds of it, and the later part where you actually see the UFO. Mm-hmm. But here you see the whole event as it unfolded.
Yeah. We've got the crowd milling.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
See it. Again, the same type of little white balls that...
And again, also, a lot of good figure ground references. In fact, this is a case where the power wires act as part of your figure ground. And you do see the movement, you can measure it.
We'll see many others too, from Chile, among other places, where you do see the little object coming behind the power wires. And it's great. It helps to analyze the film too. a good shot there of the
somewhat
the
arty
singer. Yeah.
But I think we're coming. There we go.
Yeah, here the crowd is really getting excited
And
now.
the cameraman's about to. There we go.
And,
breaking ranks.
Finally, the cameraman, decides to explore what's going on.
And again,
in more detail, because before, I guess he felt obligated. He had to keep on the singer, but
plus, let's remember that whatever is in the sky there is unconventional looking enough in reality. Forget about the film. That this huge group of people, that's where their attention's drawn.
Also, I remember it very well because, as you know, I even published a book about, it was an anthology of cases in what was still the Soviet Union.
A very good one. I wish it would go back into print.
And yeah, unfortunately, it's out of print. And 1989 was really sort of the defining year for UFOs in the old USSR, which, as we discussed earlier, had been censored for many years. Then when Gorbachev came and Glasnost, it opened up, but it was still kind of a little hush-hush. And then in 1989, we had the famous Voronezh case, and I remember you were in touch with one of the scientists who investigated that. And that was an incredible explosion.
That blew it open, you bet.
And it really blew open the phenomenon, both internally, and also made even the rest of the world aware that there was this thing going on in Russia now, that UFOs were not exclusive to the West.
It's true. And now we know from declassified Russian documents, Soviet documents that are now in the public realm.
We have some KGB documents now too, declassified.
One of the great ironies was that in the early 50s, as you will see going through your document collection on this DVD, there was a very rational concern among American intelligence and military minds that so-called UFOs could be the result of some very advanced Russian technology.
Right.
And if that was true, we were in tremendous trouble.
This was typical paranoia of the Cold War. The Americans thought that the UFOs could be Russian, and the Russians thought the UFOs could be American.
Exactly, and that is borne out in those papers.
This was part of the secrecy, too.
And we'll be back with you shortly on the next reel.
Right, and we'll move into the beginning of the 90s, and where especially Mexico will become more and more prominent.
Exactly. So we'll see you shortly on Ultimate UFO.